This was, they say, the last interview that Michael Landon had on the Johnny Carson show, and this was put out on the 4th of February 2020, but obviously comes from a few years ago, the 1990s. And I don't think, in a sense, Michael Landon is agreeing with this, but he is telling the truth, and it at least is being aired.
There were some that I didn't try. The one guy wrote me, he told me that the reason you got it, you got the big C, was that I did not get enough sex. Well, it's a clinic for guys who are, he said, if you don't have sex more than twice a week, you're gonna get it.
But what about replacing your daily apple with a daily orgasm?
Woo!
Whoa. That's the kind of apple I want. That is the kind of apple Stacey wants. Well, leading sexperts say that having an orgasm every single day not only has health benefits, but could even get you promoted at work.
This guy here says that orgasms are good for your immune system. He says if you get a tickle in your throat, don't go to the doctor and get prescriptions. Have an orgasm. 3 orgasms a week can halve your risk of getting heart attacks and strokes. He's saying that with orgasms they release testosterone and estrogen into the body. He's saying if they could bottle this, they would. So it can help with that youthful complexion.
On new research out of Harvard Medical School and Brigham and Women's Hospital is giving you one more reason, and it's related to your health. Now we know that masturbating regularly can help improve your immune system, better bladder control, and lower your blood pressure. But researchers have concluded that 1 orgasm a day could be all it takes to significantly lower one's chances of developing what the Centers for Disease Control refers to as the most common non-skin cancer among American men. They're talking about prostate cancer. Now, the study data showed that the participants who ejaculated more than 21 times a month were at a 22% lower risk of getting the disease. Now, if you're sitting there worried about getting cancer and also worried about your love life, fear not, because as for how men achieved ejaculation, it is not a requirement to have a sex partner. Now, I'm sure we're gonna joke a little bit about this story because it's about orgasms and ejaculation and masturbating, but I do wanna point out that in America, prostate cancer was diagnosed in more than 177,000 men and led to more than 27,000 deaths in 2012, which is the most recent year the CDC has complete data for the disease on record. So it is a serious issue, and knowing prevention mechanisms is important, but masturbating, obviously, still fun.
Habits, okay? But overall, they're wrong. There are religious leaders that have told you that, of course, as usual, and they're hurting your health. So it's now a fact. Like whether it's as you were pointing out, the bladder and prostate cancer and all these different, your blood pressure, it's actually good for you. I'm old enough that when I grew up, they had insane myths, and that's why I bring up the religious thing about like, oh, you'll get hair in your palm, and I remember thinking, hadn't happened yet. Like, who believes that nonsense? But they all this pressure, like, don't do something enormously fun. Why not? Now it turns out it's not just enormously fun, it's enormously healthy.
Yeah.
So have at it, Hoss.
All right, 2016, the year of health and FAP.
That's right. So if anybody calls you out on it, say, hey, listen, man, Harvard told me to do it. Okay. And I know what you're probably thinking. How did they come to this conclusion? The answer, really well.